If you are wondering how to scale your ecom brand in 2025, I'm going to show you the exact system that we install into Shopify brands for messaging, static ads, and video so that you can implement the exact system into your store and your ad account. Without further ado, let's hop into it. Hey guys, my name is Chris Marrano, founder of Blue Water Marketing, an agency that scales ecom brands, 7- and 8-figure stores that we take our system of persona research, audience research, messaging, USPs, different themes, angles, and our testing and account structure to scale brands. You might be like, yeah, I hear that all the time. And I get that because I talk to brand owners just like you all the time and they tell me the same thing. But I'm going to show you the proof that this system works across 5, maybe even 6. I'll open up another ad account just to show you how to do it, what we're doing, and dive deeper into the analysis so that you can see what to look for. Let's hop into ad account number 1. All right, so in the ad accounts, you guys are seeing 5 campaigns that we're running. So we want to keep things super simple. In that, we do have multiple ad sets running. You guys can see that the blue switch is turned on in some of them. Now, across the board, when this client came to us, he was delivering his MER, which is his marketing efficiency ratio, which is basically taking into consideration OpEx, contribution margin, all of these things. His MER was on average a 2.31, which means all of his advertising spend was at a 2.31x MER, meaning $2.31 back on every dollar spent. So this client signed on with us last month. His MER is now at a 3.06. Our goal within these ad accounts is efficiency, make more profit, have money left over at the end of the month. So just to go into, for the financial aspect, MER 3.06, his previous AMER, which is the acquisition, new customers, was a 1.31. That is now at a 1.81. So we're not quite at a 2 yet from a new customer acquisition standpoint, but his CAC continues to drop to a $40 CAC when historically it's been a $60 CAC. So profit first is our mentality here. So you can see across the board, we're seeing some pretty decent ROAS, cost per purchases, under that $40 mark, which is the key to it. This AOV needs to be a CAC under 40. So what we're doing is we're testing both audiences and assets. So in this, we have a full stack and we're testing creative, and you can see catalog is the winner here at a 2.39. So we're looking for efficiencies. So we're always looking at a 3-day window to establish if something is winning. You guys can see down here, we have a fantastic, we've ran through all these other tests. We have one delivering at a 4.08, $18 CAC. Not too much volume over the last 7 days, but spent $200 to make $816. Structuring them out in this format allows us to have more control over our testing. So you guys can see in this scenario, 2.33, 9.87, and we're just running highest volume, guys. There is nothing crazy going on other than a very defined structure within our ad account. So this is ad account number 1. So overall, we're at about a 2x, $36 CAC, and we can push when we want. I mean, it's primed there based on the MER and the AMER, increasing now consistently month over month since this client signed on. So you might be wondering, well, what is all these things? MER is marketing efficiency ratio. AMER is acquisition marketing efficiency ratio. Your contribution margin is the money left over after all of your variable costs, including agency fees, ad spend, COGS, shipping costs, credit card fees, all of those things have been accounted for. What's left over is called your contribution margin. Your contribution margin needs to be able to cover your OpEx, those fixed costs, your rent, your payroll, health insurance, whatever else you're paying for. What's left over needs to fill into that contribution margin. Otherwise, you're at a net loss. That's how we start looking at all of these ad accounts and all of our clients, understanding what is that MER and AMER goal in order to keep you profitable. So if you have OpEx of $60,000 a month, Well, we need to reverse engineer and forecast out what our KPI targets are in order to be efficient, in order to get you that minimum $60K a month in contribution margin, ideally more than that. So we always set a target margin so that then there's money left over. So let's get into the next ad account. This ad account spent over the last 7 days almost $10,000 at a 2.86. You guys can see we have, again, same structure. These campaigns, there's a little bit more here because we've had them for a little bit. So we're running a couple bid cap campaigns lower down. Efficiency is not as great as we'd like to see. But if I open up these, we can see one ad set. It's a winning campaign. This is the scale campaign. And you can see all of the creative assets that are running or turned off. So right now we have 3 running. Turn this one, let's see, on a 3-day window. Off, on. All of them delivering a customer acquisition cost per purchase below our target threshold, which is why those are still on. Moving back 7-day window, you guys can start to see how this structure is being applied in these ad accounts. Scale campaign, one audience, one campaign running broad, delivering fantastic efficiencies up here. Started to drop off down here, which will happen, which is why testing needs to be extremely important. You will always need to have the test campaign running, feeding the machine, like in this scenario, running a copy test. Clearly, there is a winner up top at a 5x $25 cost per purchase. That's where you need to make sure to always be putting more creative assets into your ad account. Here's 2 more examples. Spend $165, not too much. 11x and a 2.23x. These are super important. Now, if we open it up, you can start to see more of a trend line, 14 days, to establish overall performance of a 3.31 coming in, 20K spent, 63K generated in platform. And you can see the ones that we just looked at. This campaign, and this campaign are all well over a 3 over the last 14 with volume coming through. So let's go into the next ad account. Here's a new one. This one is a smaller account, smaller spend. So not a big deal. Still want to look at it. 7-day window. We've spent $1,500 in the last 7 days. We are coming in at a 3.37x across all of our ads. Same exact scenario, 4 different ad sets running with 4 different tests. And these are all of the ads that are running across the 4. So there's 16 total ads that are on through these. And you guys can see the return on ad spend very across the board, very, very successful with minimal spend. So now, as you can see, some of these daily budgets, 180, 120, we're pushing them up now based on these results coming in. And if you're finding this helpful, useful, hit thumbs up, hit subscribe. I try to create content to show you guys what to do so that someday you can call me and we can scale your store together. Next ad account coming in. This ad account, very interestingly so, same scenario as the first one that we discussed. These guys came to us and their efficiency was plummeting. They were at a 1.42 MER, 1 MER. Now they are at a 2.13 with a $30 CAC, down from historic $60 acquisition cost. You guys can see we're stacking interest, we're running broad, and we're testing interest-based audiences. You can see ROAS a little bit lower than we'd like to see, but there are signs of life within this because we have some down here, over here, and up here that are all coming in way below their cost per purchase target of $30. Even these ones with not a great ROAS, we're still getting inexpensive cost per purchases, and we've spent in the last 7 days about $1,000 a day, generated 13,000, 1.7. So definitely room for improvement. You guys can see some of the ones that were lagging behind have actually just been turned off, and that's where, again, testing is super important. And lastly, one more ad account. You guys can see we are running a testing campaign, Advantage Plus, another creative test, and a bid cap campaign. Ad sets, purchases, we're getting volume coming through. Last 7 days, spent $6,200, made 10. Going to our growth mapping document. Historically, their MER was around a 2.24. They're at a 2.90. Their AMER historically was not very good, coming in at an average of a 1.8. We are now at a 2.2, and a customer acquisition cost has been dropped from $31 to a $25 customer acquisition cost, and now we start working more on efficiencies. So if you've gotten anything out of this video of me showing you a number of different ad accounts, the one thing I can say is the account structure is so important. Campaign, scale, test campaign, multiple ad sets within that test campaign. Test one variable at a time. So the creative asset, multiple creative assets against the same copy. One creative asset against multiple copies. Videos, segment those out. Keep everything organized so that you know what's going on, and then make sure to have a naming convention so that if someone like me gets into your ad account, I know based on what you're calling these things, what's going on. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Happy to help. DM me on Instagram, follow me on LinkedIn. I'm there to connect with you. I hope you guys have a great day. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, hit thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.